My name is Carrie Silva Waddell. I'm a dog trainer. I've been training dogs for about 10 years. I own a pet business with my husband, and we specialize in training dogs that have aggression and socialization issues. I train dogs for the ATF and obedience. I own an animal agency business that I train dogs for movies and commercials. I'm a service dog instructor, and I'm certified in training hearing ear dogs for deaf people. And I train and compete in the sport of Mondio ring with my Belgian Malinois. But most importantly, I just had my first baby.
If you just found out you're pregnant, then now's the time to start training your dog and incorporating new rules and a structured routine before your new baby arrives.
When I was doing the research beforehand, I asked friends and family, anybody who had babies, what do you do to prepare your dogs for your baby? And they said, I put this article of clothing in from the infant and I let my dog smell it. That's how I prepare my dog.
It is a common practice in hospitals for a nurse to give new parents an article of clothing containing their newborn's scent in order to have their family dog sniff it before he meets the baby. Carrie disagrees with this practice.
As we were leaving the hospital, a nurse walked in and was with our paperwork and said, "Oh, okay, I see that you have a dog, so here, I wanted to give you this." And she hands me a Ziploc bag with a beanie in it, obviously the beanie that was on my baby at some point in the hospital. I asked the nurse, I said, "What is this for?" And she's like, "This is so that your dog can smell your baby, so that your dog likes your baby before you bring it home." And I realized that this is a myth. I mean, this is an old wives' tale. It makes no dog training sense whatsoever. You have to realize that if you just bring home this beanie and have your dog smell it, it's like smelling a stranger. We have no idea how he perceives the smell. He could perceive it as a potential threat.
Studies have been conducted in this area, and researchers have found the specific regions in a canine's brain that indicate a positive emotional-like response were activated when exposed to the smell of a human being with whom he has a positive familiar relationship. Furthermore, Carrie believes that if the dog pairs the baby's scent with his owner's scent, then it will increase the chance of him associating the positive familiar odor with the baby. Therefore, Carrie's method is as follows.
When introducing the article of clothing from your infant, it is important that you also pair an article of clothing that the dog would recognize either from the mother or the father, something with a familiar scent on it that the dog has a positive association with.
Present your baby's scent to your dog before they meet by having your dog smell an article of clothing from yourself and an article of clothing from your baby. Remember, it is necessary for your dog to pair these smells to improve the possibility of your dog having a positive reaction to the new odor of your infant.
It's a personal decision when you decide to introduce your newborn baby and your dog. I knew for myself with my older dog, I wanted to introduce them immediately. It was important to me because he's my house dog. He's used to being with me 24 hours a day, and I knew it would have completely stressed him if he knew that we were inside and he was outside. With that being said, I also hadn't seen him for 5 days, and I knew that he was going to be just super excitable. So what we had to do was I waited in the truck while my husband got out, let him run, let him go to the bathroom, and then he played with him for about 10-15 minutes just to wear him out, just to take the edge off so that he wasn't too overly excited.
When introducing your dog to your newborn for the first time, someone else, he'll be referenced as Dad, should be in charge of handling the dog, and you should hold the baby. Even if the dog is considered yours, you will not be in the physical condition to handle him. A leash and collar should be put on the dog to keep the interaction controlled. The meeting should not take place at the front door because normally there is a lot of excitement in that area. Allow time for yourself and your newborn to get settled in. Dad should have the dog on the leash and wait for him to show curiosity and walk over to greet you or to investigate the new baby. Do not force the interaction or bring the baby to the dog. Once the dog initiates walking towards you, then Dad can follow the dog over while holding the leash. The next step is for you to slightly bend over and allow the dog to sniff the baby's feet and bottom. The first sniffing interaction should last no more than 15 to 20 seconds. Praise your dog for gently sniffing the baby. If the dog is getting too pushy or overly curious, stand straight up and allow for Dad to regain control of the dog. Once the dog is done showing interest, you can sit on the couch. Dad holds the leash the entire time, and at any point you can stand with the baby so that Dad can regain control of the dog if needed. After a few minutes of everybody interacting, Dad should help the dog to settle into a down position, or there can be a place bed in the living room so that the family can reconnect in a controlled environment. Nothing in this process should ever feel rushed or stressed. The most important principle after you introduce your baby and dog is to accept and respect your dog's initial reaction to the new arrival. If communicated, allow your dog his space and as much time as he needs to adapt to the new situation. Remember, do not leave your dog and baby unattended in any circumstances, even if your dog is accepting to your new baby. If your dog displays any aggression towards your new baby, seek professional training help immediately.
With my younger competition dog, I needed to wait. I didn't want to rush it. He is super excitable. I knew having the baby, he's super loving, but at the same time, I just didn't have that same secure feeling that I have with my older dog. And it didn't happen. I didn't have a plan. I didn't set a date. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. It's a feeling of when you're ready, of when you're calm and you're relaxed. And I was sitting outside on the deck and I had my baby. I remember it was perfectly sunny day and I just was like, okay, now's the time. And I told my husband, hey, go get the other dog. It's time for him to meet the baby. And he just went along with it because you're the mommy. You have the instincts now. You know, and you're going to protect this little baby. And for me, it was all about just making sure that she was as safe as she could be. When my husband and I were taking birthing classes, they really pushed the fact that they do not want moms handling anything, dogs, as no housework, the least amount of physical activity that you can do for at least 2 weeks. And obviously my first thought is what about my dogs? I take them on walks, I throw the frisbee with them. So it's important that you have either your husband or a family member that's going to help you out.
Do not handle your dog until your doctor or midwife has given you the proper authorization. Dad or someone else should be ensuring your dog is getting the adequate exercise and receiving interactive toys until you are physically able to handle him. Remember to avoid isolating your dog outside because it can cause him stress, resulting in undesirable behaviors. Including your dog in as many jobs around the house as possible will help make for a healthy transition. As we come to the conclusion of this video, Carrie wants to share another important piece of information that can help keep your baby safe.
There's a new trend that's been going around that I've been seeing more pictures on the internet, and it's taking photos with your newborn baby and your dog. It's not cute. It's not. As a trainer, first off, when I see the pictures, my palms are sweating and I'm just like, oh, please, because dogs are unpredictable. And here you are, you're putting this 10-day-old baby on top of your dog's back and asking your dog to do this perfect downstay for this photo when in an instant, like even if that dog is the most trained dog in this world, you can't control the environment. Say there's a noise outside, something startles the dog, the lights, something, and that dog gets up and runs away. You have your 10-day-old baby on its back. It's not a trend that I want to continue. It's not safe. Now, if you wanted to take shots with your baby and your dog and you had it in a controlled way, I love it. Give it to me. I mean, this is great. I love dogs and I love my baby, but my priority is always going to be the safety of my baby. We learned all these techniques throughout the video, and now it's time to show him the picture with your baby. So have confidence that you've practiced and you prepared your dog in as many ways as you can for the safety of your new baby.
Let's review what your dog's new jobs are around the house and the different scenarios you will encounter during your new life with your baby. Your dog stays outside the invisible boundary line at the door of the nursery while you change your baby. While you are napping with your baby, your dog is behind a baby gate. When your baby is crying, your dog goes to his place command. As you enter your house with your baby, command your dog away. When going for a car ride, Your dog has an assigned spot in the car. Your dog is behind a baby gate while your baby is playing on the floor. When you are changing your baby's diaper on the floor, your dog goes to his place. Heeling your dog next to your stroller once you are physically capable.
After a few walks with the dog and the baby in the stroller, the dog started realizing, like, hey, there's something in there and she's kind of cool. And one of the last times I was taking them on a walk together, I was pushing, it was right at the beginning of the walk, I started pushing the stroller, and my dog just kind of lifted his nose and peeked in the stroller and just real quick and just got out and just started walking, and I loved it. I mean, it brought so much joy to my heart that this dog that has been with me through everything in my life, and now it gets to be with me this next part of my life.
Congratulations on your expected baby. Thank you for sharing in this educational journey. Before we close, Carrie has one last personal experience to share with you.
From the moment in the car when I told you guys I was 3 months pregnant and I had this idea and I told my husband about it, till now, 3 months after I've had the baby, this project would not be complete unless we showed you the homecoming with our baby and meeting our dog.